Ladies and gentlemen, this is Open Case.
Early morning, Tipp City, Ohio. A quiet neighborhood. The kind of place where front porches stay lit at night and most people know their neighbors. The streets are calm. The houses are close together. Nothing about this area suggests the kind of violence that investigators are about to walk into. Inside one home, a family is asleep. Then sometime around 2:30 in the morning, everything changes. A 911 call comes in. The caller is a man named Caleb Flynn. His voice sounds shaken. He tells the dispatcher someone broke into the house. He says his wife has been shot. Police and paramedics are immediately dispatched. When first responders arrive, they move quickly inside the home. What they find is a scene that will shock the community and quickly become the center of a major criminal investigation. Ashley Flynn is lying in the bedroom. She has been shot multiple times. Despite the efforts of emergency responders, she cannot be saved. Ashley Flynn is pronounced dead inside the home she shared with her husband and their two young daughters. The children are in another room in the house. Both are asleep. Neither child was physically harmed. To investigators, that detail stands out immediately. In violent home invasion cases, intruders often move quickly, sometimes violently through a home. But here, two children remained asleep through the entire incident. Outside the house, neighbors begin to notice police cars and flashing lights. Word spreads quickly through the neighborhood. Something terrible has happened. Ashley Flynn was known to many people in the community. Friends describe her as devoted to her family. She was deeply involved in the lives of her daughters and active in her community. Those who knew her say she cared deeply about being a mother. When news of her death begins to spread, the reaction is disbelief. Neighbors say the family seemed normal. There had never been loud fights spilling into the street. No police visits that anyone could remember. And according to publicly available records, there had never been documented police responses to the home for domestic violence. No prior restraining orders. No official complaints. Nothing suggesting the kind of escalating violence that could end in murder. But investigators know something important. What happens inside a home is often invisible to the outside world. As detectives begin processing the crime scene, they focus on the bedroom where Ashley was found. Crime scene technicians photograph everything. The position of the body, the location of shell casings, blood patterns across the room. Each detail could help reconstruct the final moments before Ashley Flynn died. The shooting appears to have happened inside the bedroom itself. Investigators begin asking a critical question. If this was truly a home invasion, how did the intruder enter the house? Detectives search for signs of forced entry, broken windows, forced doors, damaged locks, anything that would suggest someone broke their way inside. But investigators reportedly do not find clear signs of forced entry. No obvious damage to doors or windows. No evidence suggesting a violent break-in. That detail begins raising serious questions about the story told in the 911 call. The call itself becomes an important piece of evidence. Investigators replay it multiple times. They listen carefully to the words used, the timeline described, the emotional tone. In the call, Flynn tells the dispatcher he discovered his wife after the shooting. He says someone broke into the home. He describes blood in the bedroom. Emergency dispatchers are trained to gather as much information as possible during calls like this. Every second matters. But investigators often analyze these recordings later for something else. Consistency. Does the story told during the call match the physical evidence found at the scene? At the same time, detectives begin examining the timeline leading up to the call. When exactly did the shooting happen? How much time passed before 911 was dialed? What occurred inside the house during those minutes? Those answers are rarely clear immediately, but investigators begin building the timeline piece by piece. Another important detail emerges early in the investigation. There is no known emergency call from Ashley Flynn. Number 911 call made by her. No confirmed message asking for help in the moments before the shooting. There are several possible explanations. She may have been asleep. The attack may have happened suddenly, giving her no opportunity to reach for a phone. Her phone may not have been nearby. Until phone records and digital evidence are fully examined, the exact sequence of events remains uncertain. Investigators also begin examining the rest of the house. They look for signs that someone moved through multiple rooms. Drawers pulled open, items knocked over, anything suggesting someone searched the house. But according to investigators, the evidence inside the home does not clearly support the idea of an unknown intruder moving through the property. That observation begins shifting the direction of the investigation. In violent crimes that occur inside a residence, detectives often start by examining the people who were inside the home at the time. Family members, spouses, anyone who had direct access. In this case, one person was present in the home when the shooting happened. Caleb Flynn, the man who placed the 911 call. As investigators continue processing the crime scene, Flynn remains at the home speaking with police. Detectives begin asking detailed questions. When did he last see his wife alive? What exactly happened before he called 911? What did he hear inside the house? Those early conversations often help investigators determine where to focus their attention next. At the same time, detectives begin gathering additional evidence. They collect surveillance footage from nearby homes, doorbell cameras, security systems, anything that might show movement around the property during the night. They also begin examining phone records, texts, call logs, digital activity from the hours leading up to the shooting. Those records can sometimes reveal arguments, threats, or other conflicts that were never visible to outsiders. Meanwhile, the community of Tipp City begins trying to understand what happened. The idea of a home invasion killing shocks many residents. Parents in the neighborhood begin checking their doors and locks. People wonder if a dangerous intruder might still be out there. But investigators continue studying the evidence inside the home, the physical details, the timeline, and the story told during the 911 call. Just 3 days after Ashley Flynn is found dead, the case takes a dramatic turn. Police announce that they have made an arrest. Caleb Flynn is taken into custody. He is charged with murder and related offenses. Investigators now say they believe the home invasion story does not match the evidence. According to authorities, the crime scene appears to have been staged. That claim suggests investigators believe the scene was arranged in a way that would make the killing appear like the work of an outside intruder. The arrest shocks the community. For neighbors who believe the family lived a quiet and normal life, the accusation is difficult to process. Friends and relatives begin grappling with two competing realities. The woman they knew is gone, and the man accused of killing her is someone many people also knew personally. But an arrest is not the end of a criminal case. It is only the beginning of the legal process. Flynn enters a plea of not guilty. His defense team will have the opportunity to challenge the state's evidence in court. In the American justice system, prosecutors carry the burden of proof. They must prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Flynn intentionally killed his wife. That standard is intentionally high, especially in cases where there are no eyewitnesses. Inside the Flynn home that night, only a few people were present, 2 young children who were asleep, and 2 adults inside the bedroom where the shooting occurred. One of those adults is now gone. Ashley Flynn cannot speak about what happened during her final moments. The only surviving adult in the house is the man now charged with her murder. As the case moves forward, investigators will rely heavily on forensic evidence, ballistics analysis, gunshot residue testing, blood pattern analysis. Each of these scientific tools can help determine what happened inside the bedroom. Ballistics testing can reveal the type of firearm used and how it was discharged. Gunshot residue testing can show whether someone fired a weapon or was near one when it was fired. Blood pattern analysis can sometimes reconstruct the movements of people inside a room during a violent event. Digital evidence will also play a major role. Phone records can establish timelines. Location data can reveal movement. Messages can show conversations or conflicts that occurred before the crime. All of this evidence will likely be examined closely in court. The prosecution will present its theory of what happened. The defense will challenge that theory, and jurors will ultimately have to decide whether the evidence proves guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. For the community of Tipp City, the case remains deeply unsettling. A mother is dead. 2 young children have lost their parent. And the quiet neighborhood where it happened will never look exactly the same again. People continue asking the same questions. What really happened inside that house in the early hours of that morning? Was the scene truly staged? Or is there more to the story that has not yet been revealed? Those questions may only be answered once the case reaches a courtroom. Until then, the truth of what happened in that bedroom remains the center of a growing investigation. And for many people following the case, one fact remains impossible to ignore. The night began like any other quiet night in Tipp City. and by morning, an entire family's life had been shattered. This case remains open,